Hello, Boise, and a lot of other places. So first off, we want to welcome those of you who are from out of town. I hope you're enjoying this evening here on the Bass Block. Okay, football fans, we've reached that moment. Fourth quarter, we can do this. We started Friday night. Those of you who are just joining us for the first time, our Sunday Inazio Festival, we began on Friday evening. We had a marvelous friends and family here at the Bass Center. Then on Saturday, all day yesterday, we were in festival mode. We had performances here on the Bass Block, including Chanchangoria, that we just had perform. Then following that, we had a little break, but then we were back here once again. We had the music of Americanuak, which we're going to finish with. So we have 4 things slated for this evening. Day number 3 of the Sunday Inazio Festival. So we opened initially with Chanchangoria, which is the Basque word for red robin. It has no connection with the Red Robin hamburgers. There's no affiliation. But there's a thing about Basques, we like to sing about birds, because birds become a metaphor. And I don't know, here in a moment I'm going to introduce them. They might go birdie as well. Birds, for many traditional Basque folk songs, serve as kind of a stand-in for human emotions, human aspirations. And that's where we're headed now with this segment. We're going to introduce to you, for some of you, for the first time, a tradition that's called Bersolaritza. And essentially in the Basque language, what that means is those who sing verses. So it's one thing to sing a song if you've kind of memorized it, or to sing a song if you got the words in front of you. And as some of you well know, is to sing a song if you're at karaoke and everything's going well. But it's going to be a little different here momentarily, because in Bersolaritza, you have to improvise, you have to invent the verse as you go. So that's one thing you have to be able to do. You just kind of sing a song. And it has to have the right number of syllables to match the tune you use. So number 1, you have to kind of figure out in your head what tune you're going to start with. Then you got to figure out what you're going to sing, make sure all the syllables move. And now I'm going to let you in on a secret. And it looks like this. You'll notice our 2 Bersolaris, they're standing like this. So you put your hands behind your back, just in case, so you count the syllables.
It's not true, it's because we are panicking.
Yeah. Well, there is that nervous element. And it's one of the main reasons that Basques are still here. If you would have told people 2,000 years ago that Latin, the language of the ancient Romans, would be gone, it'd be a dead language. I mean, it's still utilized today for canon law. The Roman Catholic Church still utilizes it. But Latin is not a living language. People don't speak Latin. But 2,000 years ago, this was the language of the Roman Empire that effectively controlled 1/4 of the world's population. So you tell somebody about 2,000 years ago, the time of Christ, okay, you who speak a Latin, your language will be dead. But we who speak Basque, our language will still be alive. Go figure. Against the odds, Basques have survived in one of the, well, it's probably the most unique element of our culture. It's the language. And what's allowed the language to serve as the impetus to keep this culture moving is what we're going to have a chance now to sample with Bersolaritza. This whole art form, because even those who are fluent in Basque, you literally have no idea what they're going to be singing about, because it's all in the moment. You're given a topic, you got to think what tune, you got to have the right number of syllables, and then, well, all the while, they got to see if they can kind of be witty. You got to be able to present this to a general audience, something that people would be interested in. So this is what we have as a special treat. So we open with Chanchangoria, our accordion and tambourine group. Just kind of real quick on that, I don't know if you noticed, they put the tambourine players all in the front. I'm sorry, in the front was all the accordion players. And since I played tambourine, I noticed all the tambourine players were in the back. So we got to talk to the director. Every now and then, you know, tambourines maybe kind of come forward. kind of give the tambourine players a moment. All right, but we'll work that out with Chan Chan Goria. They're working on it since 2001. We also have, here momentarily, we're gonna have the finals. We have a group of professional women handball players from the Basque Country, and they're gonna be playing their final here momentarily in the Fronton, which is the building here to my right, the red brick building. That was built in the same year Wrigley fan fields, Chicago Cubs. In the same year this building was built, and like Wrigley Field, it's still used for its original purpose, Basque handball. So we have these professional women, Basque handball players, and here they're gonna have their final here momentarily. So I'm gonna introduce now the Better Solari, but then we're gonna finish the evening with audience participation, and once again, the music of the Basque band Americanuak. But now, Better Solaritza. So our two singers, who incidentally, nowadays they have schools. They kind of coach people up to do this. Both of our singers, Martin Goicoechea and Todor Azurza, they're self-taught. So they didn't have the advantage of going to classes and learning, roses are red and violets are blue. They didn't have that opportunity to kind of learn maybe some basic entry level. They're self-taught. And now we're gonna unleash this incredible skill, because I've been fortunate enough to make an effort to try to learn the Basque language. That's one thing. Number two is to understand improvised verse, because it's poetry. And here in the moment, they're going to create all of this in front of us. So here we go with what is called the agurra, or a greeting to our audience, Martin Goicoechea and Todor Azurza. Aurora.
Aspalditik hemen banitun, ni lehenagoko ezagunak, eta orain egina ditu nere bihotzen lagunak. Neretzat oso pozgarri dira, hau zelako eguna. Bioz bihotz ezagurtzen ditut, hemen zauten euskalduna, hemen zauten euskalduna.
Basbloka ederra dugu, zuri berde gorri, elkartu gera hemen, hainbeste jatorri, mezu ederrak hemen, nahi ditut igorri. Euskera izan bedi, gure gida horri. Besarkada bat denoi, ta ongi etorri.
Albola eta itzalonekin, hemen dagon avaroa. Ikusten duni euskal jendea, ez dagoela eroa. Neri azala erretzen di, gaur hemen dagon beroa. Eta barrena berotutzen di, hemen dagoen giroa. Etorri gera gaurkoan bilok, kantan boizi ingurura, beti bezala ni nabil hemen, Martinekin gaur gustura, hemen zabaltzen gabiltza bilok, gurea dena mundura, gure hizkuntza, gure bertsoa, azken finean kultura, gure bertsoa, gure hizkuntza, azken finean kultura. Ez da ederra gertako zala, hori pentsatu nun lehendik, nik eronera etorzen pasa, ditut desertuta mendik. Denori estimatzen dizugu, entzuteak gaur barrendi, ia bersoz azeta denak, joaten geran hemendik, ia bersoz azeta denak, joaten geran hemendik. Eta bertsotan egin nahi nuke, hemen boizen nik maitzago, entzun dezagun gure hizkuntza, hemen txepiskat gehiago, nire kapelaz ezin dut esan, gaurko ontan argiago, asaben gisan euskalduna naiz, ni hortaz oso harro nago, asaben gisan ni euskalduna, ta hortaz oso harro nago. Nik zen izten dut berso zalea, mundura nintzan jaioa, txikitatikan berso zalea, burura hau nun illoa. Azkenen hemen egina dauka, nere bigarren ofizioa, ta pozgarri da boizin eitea, gaur lehenengo saioa, ta pozgarri da boizin egitea, gaur lehenengo saioa. Eta saioan emango degu, gu bilok hemen den dena, izan dedia ona latxarra, baina ala ere zuzena, horretarako daukagu hemen, bilokindartak emena. Lehen saioa daukagu hemen, ez bedi izan azkena. Lehen saioa daukagu hemen, ez bedi izan azkena.
Gustoa ikera hemen, ezin da ukatu, gure doinua orain, nahi dugu trukatu, eta hontan nahi dugu saioa alatu. Hemen ez ditela behintzat, errez gaur bukatu. Lararai, 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 errez gaur bukatu.
Jende aurrean daukat nik beti estresa, etzazuela pentsa hau denik erreza, baina gaurko honetan daukagu sorpresa, hurbildu zaigu hemen tristongo jendetza. Larai, laralai, laralai, tristongo jendetza.
Denantza sorpresan gaur gugera azaldu, hemen ez dugu nahi geren burua saldu, baina bersolaritza nahi du galdu, eldudan urterako gombita bialdu. Lararai, 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 gombita bialdu.
Eta hau ikasterik bada hemen banola, sortua degu eta hemen txe eskola, bihurtu dadin boize bersoen etxola, berrituaz lanean bertsoen odola. Larai, laralai, laralai, bertsoen odola.
Todo horrek ibiltzen du etxeta kalea, horrek zer egiten du gaur badu balea. Lehendabizi izan zan oiride ikaslea, eta gaur bera dugu gure irakaslea. Lararai, 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 gure irakaslea.
Eta orain begira hemen jendeari, ez dakit aulertzen ote zaigun ari. Behintzat ordu guguk Jon benetan oso adi, ez aldezu gaurkoan egin behar dantzari. Larai, laralai, laralai, egin behar dantzari.
Gehiegi ez kantatu, engo da itxutu. Oin nolakoa da, ni dut ezagutu. Lehen ere egin zan oin, nerekin lotu. Baina kanka gomen zaizkio, pixka bat izutu. Lararai, 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 pixka bat izutu.
Ez diogu eman gaur, elkarri ez egur. Aritu gera bilok, bertxotan gaur zuur. Gauzatxu bat daukagu, hemen txeguk ziur. Dotore gingo duzu, gurekin gaur zuk lur. Larai, laralai, laralai, gurekin gaur zuk lur.
Contextual. All right, now it's my turn to make things up. All right, did you hear what happened there? So for example, they start with one tune, so you can't anticipate this. So Martin, in the middle of it, he switched to a whole other tune. So Todor has no idea this is coming. So, I mean, you can invent whatever tunes or words you want in your head, but when one guy changes the tune, you have to reconfigure everything. So that's what makes this truly an art form. In the moment, you have to create it. And in the moment, now our man Todor called up Lur. Lur is here with our Basque handball players. He was the instructor for Udaleku the last week and a half. The Boise Bass Center was the host of a week and a half Bass Culture Camp for 110 kids, ages 10 to 15. And as part of that camp, they had an opportunity to learn some music. They were introduced to the Bass language. There were cooking classes, dancing classes, but they also had a chance to play here in the fronton. So Lur, when he's not playing pilota, I guess he's a Bersolari as well. So I think he's ready. He had a beer or two, and he's feeling inspired. Let's see where he takes us.
Boizera etorrita gaur plazan bertxotan.
Gauza polita dira olako kasotan.
Gustora gabiltzagu gaur une gozotan.
Ola etorri leike onaino askotan.
Gustatu alzaizuzui Boiziko herria.
Dotore jarri digu ark dantzan gerria.
Euskal Herriaz arat bada aberria.
Hemen betea dauka bere egarria.
Eta bertsotan dabil gurekin gustura.
Ez tarria zikuta behar dut nikura.
Zu behar dezuna, ardo pixka taura.
Gin tonikarekin zuk aztu zure duda.
Todor hau ez daura, zer daukazu hemen?
Probatu behar zendun edan baino lehen.
Super indarra ematen dita hainbat kemen.
Nik abadeak legez edan eta amen.
Nik ere jakina dut zer du urarekin.
Bukatuko alde zute gaur galderoiekin.
Nik gauero bezala edateariekin.
Argatik aidira pozik biak elkarrekin.
Hau ura degu eta oso fina.
Berdin du zer dagoen edateko grina.
Todorrek daukori propio egina.
Auturrean bezala nik daukat dopina.
Euskal Herritik ez dau hau oso urruti.
Euskal Herrin bezala sentu dut barrutik.
Jendeak badaukaba gurekin erruki.
Denak dagoz horradi tente eta zuti.
Euskaldun asko dago lanago igarria.
Eta bersotarako daukate garria.
Hemen bersolari bi, ni bersolarria.
Hau dugu guk munduan bigarren Euskal Herria.
Gaurkoan historia egiten gu gara.
Errimak buruata, ahotan euskara.
Askotan ezin bilduz guk dugu ikara.
Egingo dugu aurki hemen behar bada.
Zuekin egonenke holan hiru egun.
Gutxinez badituzu, zuk hemen bilagun.
Naiz ta bizi zerantzu, benetan oso urrun.
Sentitzen naiz gaurkoan, baneunken izerun.
Nik jakin nahi nuke nola dan zerua.
Altxa begiradatan gora hor burua.
Aukera nik nahiago beti infernua.
Han ez du nik hartu nahi zure ingurua.
Saioa izan data ederra ziurra.
Zuentzako guandik opari apurra.
Geuren barren digu gaur eman egurra.
Kantatuko aldegu oraintxe agurra.
Okay, context for what just happened there. I think many of us know this. Hey la-dee, la-dee, la-dee. Hey la-dee, la-dee, lo. Hey la-dee, la-dee, la-dee. Hey la-dee, la-dee, lo. And then boom, someone has to sing. See, but most of us, we cheat. See, because we know we're in la-dee, la-dee. So we have a few moments to kind of think about what it is we're going to sing, right? But you have to do this in the moment, because one guy starts singing and leaves the topic. He's saying one sentence. And then the next one, you got to respond immediately, right? So most of us can pull it off. Hey la-dee, la-dee, la-dee. Hey la-dee, la-dee, lo. Hey la-dee, la-dee, la-dee. Hey la-dee, la-dee, lo. I know a guy whose name is Jack. Hey la-dee, la-dee, lo. All he does is eat Big Macs. Hey la-dee, la-dee, lo. And then we're done, right? But we have 5-10 minutes to dream this up. So that's what makes this an art form, because you can't anticipate where the person right before you, where they're going to take the song and where the topic goes. So they brought up Lur, yet another Bersolari, and as they were going through there, each one would now set up a topic, and then immediately, as you heard, you got to follow up with that sentence. So we got another segment here. This is going to be the final segment now for Bersolaritza. But to kind of give you a sense, what we opened with the first segment, in that you were singing more than just one sentence. This last segment, it was one sentence to the other. So in that, we'll give you another behind-the-scenes secret. We already showed you this one. As a good Bersolari, when you're given a topic, the first thing you want to come up with is the ending, where you want to finish. That's where the punch has got to be. So then, from the ending, you got to go backwards and figure out how you're going to start it so you can get to that ending. So that's the first segment they sang. The second illustration was, hey, lottie, lottie, and you don't have time to fix this. You got to do it on the spot. And now we're going to give you now this third segment, their Agura, farewell. We hope you're enjoying this St. Ignatius weekend. So we had Chanchangoria that opened. We got the handball games in the fronton. And now we're going to wrap up this Bersolaritza segment. And we've got a spotting. There's Americanuak. I don't know how we got them out of Bardenay, but somehow they emerged, and they're going to be following here next. Because we've been passive long enough, it's going to be your opportunity to throw in and be Basque for this evening. But to make it Basque, let's go to our most unique element, and that's the language. It's one of the key things they mention in several of their verses. Because for Basques, we don't call ourselves Basque. Basque is a French word that derived from, we believe, Vascones, which was Latin when the ancient Romans found these people. The Basque people called themselves Euskaldunak, which literally means those who speak the Basque language. And that's why Basques are still here. A big part of it is the tradition we have with Bersolaritza, and that's what we want to give you one last taste of with the Agurra.
Zaionekin ere bihotza gaur zegoen igurzia honi begira gerta liteke ni balkotara bihurtzia eta gainera hemen liteke ni osotara urzia pena gaundina neri ematen di gaur zuek agurtzia gaur zuek agurtzia.
Hiru aste egin dodaz hemen, zenbat barreta algara, pilota kamp eta udaleku, umedanak zebozada, boizen euskara bada, boize euskalduna da, boize zu ederra zara. Eskerrik asko boize bihotzez, laster bueltatuko gara. Eskerrik asko boize bihotzez, laster bueltatuko gara.
Gustura aritu naiz, zuekin batera, ederra izan dugu, hemen guk aukera, gure hizkuntza dugu, kalera atera, itzuli nahi dut berriz, ona bestera. Euskeraz eta euskaraz, gogoz amestera. Eskerrik asko, thank you very much.
Let's show our appreciation for Lur, Martín, Todor, Bersolaritza. And yes, they make that up. All right, we want to call forward to the stage Michelle, Jean-Pierre, and Jean. They're going to be playing for us next. These three are going to be on tour. They take their show everywhere throughout the Bass diaspora. So you caught it here in Boise, and there's still a few more Bass festivals left this season. So those of you who kind of got the Bass bug, go to nabasque.org, nabasque.org, and you'll have the schedule of the upcoming Bass festivals.